Which of these? Which state? Mississippi. The flag of Minnesota. Which state border? Louisiana. Which state? Florida. Which state? Ohio. Which state? New Hampshire. Which of these states? Which of these states? Which state board? Oregon. The flag below belongs Michigan. Which of? Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Texas. Which state borders Indiana? Which state borders Wisconsin? Which of these Which state borders Arkansas? Which state borders the Atlantic? New Jersey. Which of these? Which South Carolina? Which state borders the Gulf of Mexico? Alabama. Which state? New York. Which state? Alaska. Which state border? Massachusetts. Which state? Indiana. Which state? Virginia. Which state borders the Gulf of Alabama? Which of these states? Which of these? Which state border? Illinois. Which state? Washington. Which state? Kentucky. Which of the? Which? Louisiana. Which state? Rhode Island. Which? Delaware. Which state board? Illinois. Which state? North Carolina. Which state? Tennessee. Which state board? Hawaii. state? Mississippi. The flag below belongs Kansas. Which of these states? Which of these? Which state borders the Connecticut?